Casey's Audio Vault.
Tim Foreman from Switchfoot.
May 9th, 2011.
Hey, C, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing really good, thanks.
Where are you today?
I am home in San Diego. Enjoying a few days home. We just got back from Asia and Australia a few days ago.
Holy
So
smokes.
it's nice to be back.
Yeah, how was that tour?
That was great. We all surf, so Australia is always a good excuse to catch some waves, you know? We had about a week there, and then the second week was kind of more of a whirlwind trip, traveling every day. But we did Singapore, Malaysia, Jakarta, Philippines. A lot of fun places.
Get some pretty big waves?
Yeah, we did in Australia. We kind of scored. We've gotten unlucky there a few times, and this time we scored some really good waves on the west part of Australia, which was pretty neat because it's kind of a secluded area, you know, not an area that a lot of people will ever see. So it's really pretty, not a lot of surfers out, and a lot of great waves.
There's another tour, Switchfoot playing Panchage's Playhouse on the 23rd with The Reason. Are you working on the new album in between these two tours?
We actually finished it. We finished it right before this last tour. It's completely done, mixed, mastered, the whole deal. And it's kind of really just burning a hole in our pockets, you know. We're going to be sitting on it until I think August or September is kind of what we're shooting for the release date. But it's completely done, and we couldn't be more proud about it.
Are we going to hear some new tunes off Vice Versas on this tour?
Yeah, that's one of the goals, is to try and, you know, kind of work out some of the new stuff as we're on the road, which is always fun for us. You know, maybe sneak in a new song or two every night.
Last year we talked to your brother John. He was saying Switchfoot had nearly done 80 songs or something for the previous album. Did any of those tunes make it on the new album? Yeah,
there were a few. I think initially we thought that, you know, there'd be quite a few of those that would spill over on this one, but you know, we're always writing while we're on tour, and so I think it was kind of a good refining process where the very best of those songs were able to be refined and find their way onto this record. I think there was two like that, and then the rest of them are all new songs that you know, we're really excited about. It feels like a real big step forward for us.
So do you bring a little recording rig along with you so when you're on the road you can put ideas down?
Yeah, I mean, in the past we've done as far as, you know, we've actually recorded keeper tracks for certain albums while we're on tour, and there's good and bad about that. For this one, we just decided to use it as more of a sketch pad, you know, to kind of capture ideas, but then to you know, record the real thing in our studio here in San Diego, and that was kind of a less stressful way to do it, you know. So yeah, when we're touring, we're always kind of capturing ideas on our laptops, that sort of thing. It makes for kind of a good process for us. We can kind of refine them as we go.
Now that you've done a couple projects in the, I guess, not so new studio that you guys built, does that feel like home now? Does it feel like the right place to be making Switchfoot records?
Yeah, it really does. You know, this was the second full-length project we've done in there, and that's a big difference, kind of having already done one in there. We were able to take what we learned from that and improve the studio, and it feels completely like home. We actually did a couple songs up in LA just out of necessity while we were mixing, to be close to our producer who was mixing the record, and we were wishing that we were in our studio. You know, this was a really nice, expensive studio in Hollywood, and we felt like for our uses, our studio in San Diego was more conducive to the kind of music we make. That was a good feeling to realize that.
You have your Grammys up on a shelf in there?
You know, they haven't sent them to us yet. They, you hold the Grammy, you know, when you get it, and then you walk backstage and they take it from you. They say they're going to mail you the personalized one, and we're still waiting for ours.
That's terrible. It's been a while now. Is it lost in the mail?
I know. I was actually just wondering that this morning myself. I was like, you know, I was looking at this empty shelf spot at my house going, yeah, I wonder where that thing is. I'm going to track that down, get a FedEx tracking number or something on it.
Well, congratulations on the Grammy, but was it sort of a bittersweet win? Best rock gospel album. Realize the band has struggled a little bit with getting labeled as a Christian rock band.
Yeah, I think people that are familiar with the band realize that, while we're believers and, we're always honored to be associated with the name of Christ, people that have followed our music know that that's never a title that we've put on our music, And for us, it's more of a faith than a genre. So, there is that aspect to it. Ultimately, a Grammy's a Grammy, and we were, really honored to receive it.
How was your day out with the San Diego Padres?
It was amazing. I'm still kind of flying high from it. That was a couple days ago. And, it's kind of like any baseball fan's dream day. I felt like a little kid who won some sort of a fantasy day or something. I showed up kind of just before noon, and some of the more notable Padres, Heath Bell and Nick Hundley, took me into the clubhouse. They had a locker room for me and personalized jersey, and got suited up and went and played catch with Heath Bell for a little bit. Then he started hitting me grounders, and I took batting practice. I did the full deal with the team, and it was it was pretty incredible. And threw out the first pitch, and not a day that I'll ever forget. That's for sure.
Were you a really big baseball fan as a kid?
Yeah, I was. I think I'm maybe a bigger baseball fan now than I was, as a littler kid. I played t-ball and Little League, and then I kind of got more into surfing, which is what I spent most of my childhood doing. But later on, in high school and further on, I kind of got more into the intellectual side of baseball, the strategy behind it all, and was able to kind of appreciate it more.
Are you strictly a Padres fan, or did your time in Boston make you a Red Sox fan as well?
Yeah, I kind of have two allegiances. I mean, I think they play each other in their league this year, and I'll have to for the home team, the Padres. But I grew up in the Red Sox, and I'll always have that too.
Are your kids interested in the sports or music or surfing yet?
I've got a son, and he's really into surfing. He's, when we go surfing, I can't. He'll stay out as long as he can. I have to drag him back in.
Is he still pretty young?
Yeah, he's 6, which it's kind of the dream to have your little kid like something as much as you do.
And that was about the age that you started. Was it that young?
I think we were still in Boston at the time, so kind of a hard thing to be a surfer in Boston. I didn't really start surfing until we moved. We spent some time in Virginia Beach, and then moved out west to California when I was 13. And so kind of around those ages when I really started surfing.
Well, I appreciate getting you on the phone, Tim, and Switchfoot playing Pantages Playhouse on the 23rd with The Reason. Vice Verses is the new album. It's done, and you're thinking maybe August, maybe September? Yeah,
that's the word on the street. It'd be sooner if we had anything to say about it. We can't say enough about how proud we are of how this record came out. We set some pretty high goals for this album, and we really feel like it embodies those goals. So, yeah, we can't wait to get up to Canada and hopefully sample a few of the new songs for you guys.
Okay, well, we'll see you here in just a couple weeks.
Okay, thanks again.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.